place, worm. Prepare yourself. Damn Saiyan.
I want to go ahead and give you guys my list for the top 10 fights in the Tournament of Power, starting all the way from when the arena was finished being built, all the way to the last episode, episode 110, where we finally get to see Jiren and Goku face off. And that is the reason I wanted to go ahead and make this video a part 1, because there is still more than likely a whole nother chunk of the tournament left. So once the Tournament of Power tournament is completed, I will give you guys my part 2 for this list. I'm going to go ahead and jump right in and start off with number 10, the Gods of Destruction face off. Even though technically this fight is not part of the Tournament of Power, it began as soon as the arena was completed, and oh boy, it was spectacular. It was actually the best representation that we had of the gods going all out at all, any other god besides Beerus. And it foreshadows the ending, or the episode 109 and 110, where we see Jiren and Goku finally face off, because it gives you something to look at and see, oh, okay, so they're getting there. They're close to that sort of representation of what the Gods of Destruction fighting actually is, and then they actually meet that representation. And this was a great indicator before the tournament even started that this is the pinnacle of power that we have to measure the rest of the fights on. Number 9, Caulifla versus Goku. This fight was a precursor to the incredible transformation that we have of Kale becoming her Super Saiyan Berserker self. But the fight itself is pretty much underrated. It wasn't one of those fights where the ending of it was to get someone kicked off the arena or to really beat somebody up to the point where they were kicked off the arena. It was more of a training moment between Goku and Caulifla, even though Goku really didn't go out to train her. But once she introduced her giant bulky form, he was like, no, that form has a lot of limitations. You should be going to Super Saiyan 2. And then we find out that Caulifla actually hasn't really mastered Super Saiyan 2. She's not really comfortable going to Super Saiyan 2. And when she did before against Kale, it was a spur of the moment thing that she hadn't been able to go back into. The sequence and the animation was brilliantly done, with the explosions happening with all the other fights in the background. It was definitely one of the gems in the beginning of the Tournament of Power. And as Caulifla, I actually really like her as a character, so the fact that her and Goku were really into it and really into each other, I definitely enjoy that. Number 8, Goku and Vegeta versus Universe 9. This fight was awesome. It was a great introduction to an epic beef that Universe 9 and Universe 7 have with each other. Universe 9 kept trying to undermine Universe 7, even sent assassins to take out Frieza, which obviously did not work. But this is the culmination of everything. The Trio of Dangers was taking on Goku, and even though Goku more than likely in Super Saiyan Blue could have taken them out, he was having a hard time in his base form. So Vegeta steps in to try to save Goku or help him out so Goku doesn't have to exert too much energy. Vegeta gets trapped against all the members of Universe 9, and he is on the ropes. Universe 9 seems like they're winning up until Universe 9 makes a mistake. Vegeta capitalizes on the mistake, knocking those two members out right over the arena. Universe 9 is in awe because they thought they were winning, and at that point Goku knocks out the rest of them, and then the Trio of Dangers come in with their Trio of Dangers beam, trying to take out Goku and Vegeta at the same time. Goku and Vegeta go into Super Saiyan Blue, where everybody else sees that their Super Saiyan Blue transformations, and then the clash happens, knocks out the Trio of Dangers. This fight was epic in the sense because Vegeta coming in and saving Goku, number 1, was one of the things that we don't really see too often in Dragon Ball Super. We usually have it the other way around. But the whole aspect of their overconfidence being what basically did them in, and the fact that one fatal slip in this tremendous battle royale could be the difference between being alive or having universe be erased was fantastic. Vegeta blew it out of the park in this fight. Loved it. Number 7, Android 17 versus Kakunsa. This fight had it all. Had great choreography, had great animation. The whole premise was built on the fact that 17 is a park ranger and he's facing this creature, or this fighter that basically fights like a creature and fights like an animal. And even at the very end, 17's like, you were worth studying, your combat skills and your combat techniques were worth studying, but this fight is over. It shows 17 that he was actually a legit player. He really didn't need to go all out like this against this fighter, because he could have easily attacked him and won. But all these characters are trying to preserve what little stamina they have. The fact that it seemed that Android 17 also wrung himself out, but then landed on the light fixture, and that was suddenly okay, it really shows later on, it kind of foreshadows later on in the series that maybe this light fixture will become something that they can use, or fighters can use later on. Him taking out Kakunsa, I mean, he took out one of these Universe 2 Warriors of Love, and from the community standpoint, I guess these characters have overstayed their welcome, especially Ribrianne, and I cannot wait to see her leave. Caulifla and Kale versus the Pride Troopers. There is one reason and one reason only that this fight is so high up on this list. It is because we finally get some character motivation, some backstory. We get something further and something deeper that we can build on with the Universe 6 Warriors, especially the Universe 6 Saiyans. From the start of the tournament, the biggest complaint really has been the fact that the Universe 6 Saiyans, I mean, they just excel without really trying. And the fact that we don't really have much backstory to them, there is no depth. With this fight, when they fought the Pride Troopers, which, I mean, seeing as how Jiren is a Pride Trooper, this is the most feared team in the entire tournament up to this point. We get to see them build on their character relations. We get to see Kale overcome and push herself and her limits because of the fact that she believes that she is basically worthless. So it kind of feeds into the idea that maybe there's more to go on with Universe 6. Maybe Universe 6 has some sort of caste system with the Saiyans, and Kale has been an outcast, and then Caulifla took her in. Caulifla, on the other hand, goes through what I would say is the Gohan arc. She pushes herself beyond her limits. She never loses her face. She never loses her motivation to fight and continue fighting and defending Kale, even though Kale is basically defenseless at this point, trapped in a bubble. And then we get such an awesome transformation. We get Kale transforming into her Super Saiyan self, and then what looks like her transforming and controlling her Super Saiyan Berserker self. So that also foreshadows what may happen further on in the tournament. Number 5, Master Roshi versus Frost. Now, on its face, this fight seems clearly one-sided. I mean, Master Roshi is one of the weakest characters in Dragon Ball Z, and he's facing against a Frost Demon, is what I'm going to be calling them, and Frieza's of this race, and that alone basically means that Master Roshi is facing off against Frieza. Well, this fight was awesome. It was realistically done. It pushed Master Roshi beyond his limits and pushed him even further into the realm that he is now one of the most valued members of this team. And so many people were complaining, myself included, that he was even on this team, but he outshined, and with all his tricks, I believe at this point now he's got some of the most amounts, besides Goku and Vegeta, of characters that he's wrung out. If I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken, but Master Roshi, he went in and he fought against Frost and really gave him all he had with his built-up, bulky form, and Frost was really on the ropes up until Frost hit him one time, and realistically, that took basically Master Roshi out. But Master Roshi had other moves, and he tried to use the Mafuba on him to try to absorb him into the freaking little flask, and missed, so that just shows that he's even exerted himself even beyond. Then he tries to go ahead and do it again, even though he's not supposed to, because that could really threaten his life, and that could actually have him killed. And Frost gets it, puts it on Vegeta, traps Vegeta, and at this point, Master Roshi throws a very small energy ball, and it looks like it was right past Frost, and I was like, holy shit, what was that? And then it comes back and hits the jar, and it was just such a great character-driven story that pushed Master Roshi into the realm of being so freaking awesome and being in the same level that he was back in Dragon Ball when he was a top contender. I loved it. It was awesome. Number 4, Gohan versus Obuni. This fight, the animation is some of the best animation in the tournament. Some of the best animation scenes in this tournament so far, even some with Jiren and Goku, have the same art style that this episode had. Gohan finally got such an epic episode, and it seems like every single character that he's fighting, recently anyway, is somebody that's basically messing with his senses. His senses are messed up, and so this character, his power, this character can control his ki and create feints with it, so Gohan can't really lock onto it and it's harder to read. So this pushes Gohan more into a character that needs to be really in tune with his senses, and that's what I loved about this fight. Plus the fact that Obuni himself, without really saying many words and without really being heralded into in the tournament as a huge presence, does a really good job at fighting Gohan and having this backstory where he's got this family. The part at the very end of the fight where Gohan takes out Obuni and Universe 10 accepts its fate and is erased, and then you see the locket on the ground where it has his family, Obuni's family, and it really pushes the character of Gohan even further into the realm of knowing what is on the line and knowing the stakes of this tournament and how real it would be, and really leaves a lot of open-ended questions on what he will actually do. Will he be upset with the gods if he does win the tournament because of so many lives lost? Will he be vindictive? Who knows? But this fight was fan-freaking-tastic. I loved it. Number 3, Hit versus Dyspo. There aren't very many characters that can get the drop on Hit, but it seems fitting that it is a Pride Trooper that does so, because later on, as you guys know, in the episode that comes out Saturday night, episode 111, we see Jiren fighting Hit. It doesn't look very good for Hit. But this was the first indicator that maybe Hit might have some trouble, because he's fighting Dyspo, which is the speed warrior of Universe 11. And what Dyspo is doing is his ears are hearing the sound of when Hit's about to go into his time skip. So when that happens, Dyspo attacks with his lightning fast speed. Hit can't really get into his time skip before Dyspo attacks, so he takes a walloping. When Dyspo is attacking him, he is beaten down. At this point in time, I had a sense that no matter how strong Hit is, he's not going to be able to compare against Jiren, because Dyspo is giving him this much trouble. Of course, we get the awesomeness of Goku and the revelation that he can go into Super Saiyan God normally, and he comes in and helps him out against Dyspo. But then again, he goes in and faces off against one of the other Pride Troopers, so the fight still remains relatively contained to Dyspo and Hit. And just the animations when Dyspo and Hit are about to fly at each other, I dare you guys not to get goosebumps every time you see those animations, because they are so freaking fantastic. And at the very end, how Hit circumnavigates what Dyspo is doing is by issuing the sound of him about to go into his time skip, and when Dyspo attacks, Hit runs in and hits him back. So he is faking out Dyspo, and so Dyspo can rely on his hearing and on hearing the time skip go on, because it could not be, he may not be going into the time skip. So it was a great way to show that Hit is a level-headed player, and he's a team player too. Him and Goku were working as a pair essentially, and the fact that his strategy and tactics outmaneuvered some of the Universe 11 fighters. So definitely loved this episode, and I love this fight. Definitely deserves to be on the top. Number 2, Kale versus Goku. Yes, the fight that we were all waiting for because of Kale's huge similarities between Broly. So we were waiting for this fight, and the callbacks to the Goku and Broly fight were everywhere in this fight. Everywhere. They did it so beautifully. And just the Kale transformation sequence alone, when she actually transforms into her berserker form. This transformation sequence, the kickoff to the fight, was especially awesome because we see Goku and Caulifla basically ignoring Kale. And for the first time, more than likely in Kale's life, we see Caulifla just ignore Kale for this fight, for essentially a dude, Goku. And so I kind of thought this was going to happen, and so I guessed that this would be the reason that Kale would be angry at Goku, and another callback to Goku versus Broly. It came true, and so we see Kale just demolishing Goku, and Goku is going into Super Saiyan Blue form and hits her with a Kamehameha wave, and she walks right through it, grabs him by the face, and pummels him. It was spectacular. And then we wonder why Goku really is losing a lot of his energy. I mean, even in that fight against Jiren, imagine if he would not have versed and faced Kale. He may have had more energy back then, but that fight had great choreography, great callbacks. I got so many goosebumps every single instant of that fight. I got so many goosebumps because I am so deeply in love with the Broly movie. It's not perfect, but I'm so deeply in love with it. So I love the fact that they called back on it so freaking hard. And then at the very end, we see Jiren take out Kale, and that was the ending of the fight. But again, freaking awesome, and definitely deserves to be at the number 2 spot on this list. Number 1. If you guys hadn't guessed it, well, here it is. Goku versus Jiren. The fight that was prophesized all the way at the beginning of the Universe Survival arc, where we see the intro, we see Goku fighting this strange looking character that we've never seen before, and the fight that we know that the whole arc has been gearing up to, the biggest hype in all of recent Dragon Ball history. Crunchyroll and Funimation.com, all those sites on the night of that fight crashed. I wasn't able to watch that fight until 1 a.m. at my time that morning, and the fight did not disappoint. It is by far my favorite fight in the Universe Survival arc. It's my favorite fight in Dragon Ball Super so far, and beating out some of the Goku Black fights that I hold so dear. But Goku faces off against Jiren, and what we see a lot going on in this tournament, we see characters going through their transformations to kind of test out the waters, and that's what Goku does. He tests out the waters against Jiren. He fights him in all his iterations, and each iteration is a little bit stronger and does a little bit more damage. It's crazy to think about that. Goku in base form could not even hold water against Jiren in his base form because he's not doing anything. He's just standing there for the most part during that fight. And we see Goku going at it up until he gets into Super Saiyan Blue. That's when that Jiren actually is starting to take Goku semi-seriously. And then we get one of my favorite moments in all of Dragon Ball Super, up there with the moments where Trunks wakes up out of his little coma thing and sees Goku and attacks him. We see the Clown God of Destruction, Belmont. He comes down and tells Jiren, and we hear Jiren's amazing soundtrack in the background. He tells Jiren, "It's time, take out Goku." And then Jiren, almost like a robot, he goes, "All right, yeah, no problem, sir," because that is essentially his boss, even though he's stronger than him. That's what we find out later on down the line, that he's stronger than him, and he's like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." The fight between Goku and Jiren is extremely one-sided because Jiren is extremely powerful. He takes out Goku left and right. It's up to Goku to do the Spirit Bomb to try to take out Jiren, and it's the first time we see Goku doing a Spirit Bomb against somebody that's not evil. Jiren is not evil. He's God. He's there to save his universe. And so this fight goes off without a hitch. The fight between the Spirit Bomb, Jiren pushing the Spirit Bomb back and Goku pushing the Spirit Bomb forward, is amazing. Then we see Goku get enveloped and destroyed by the Spirit Bomb. We think that Jiren defeated him. It's over. All the rest of the fighters kind of come in. We think that maybe they're going to run away because they know they can't defeat Jiren, but they all kind of slowly creep up because they're trying to take out Jiren, because they want to take out Jiren, and they have this kind of bloodlust in their eyes, like, we need to take this guy out pronto. He is the number 1 contestant that could really derail our plans and our survival. And then Goku comes out of nowhere with a transformation into his Ultra Instinct form, Ultra Instinct Omen, whatever you want to call it. He goes into this form, and from there on, this animation is very similar to the Gohan versus Obuni animation, where it's very fluid, very Naruto-esque, and it is amazing. Goku and Jiren go at it, and Goku is dodging everything Jiren is taking at him because his body is reacting before Goku can even think to react, and Jiren really is trying his hardest to try to, do some damage. And at one point he comes out of nowhere, tries to hit Goku. Goku goes flying forward and dodges out of the way, and we think it's a dodge, but he actually punched Jiren right in the face when he did that. when flying past them. And so this fight, they go all out. The animation is just superb. The emotional hits, the emotional hype is there. The goosebumps are there. It is hype. It is hype past 9,000. Then we see Goku's transformation fading. Jiren stopped his attack, and then we see Jiren like looking serious. He's got his aura out. He looks serious as all hell and pushes Goku back, and that's it. That's the end of Goku, but not the end of the fight, because then Hit comes out of nowhere and tries to steal Jiren because he's an assassin. And it was just such oh my god, it oozed such character development. It was awesome. Such character-driven motivation. It was amazing. That is the #1 fight to this day. That is the #1 fight, in my opinion, from the Universe Survival arc, from the tournament power. Again, I'm only using fights from when the arena was completed, and then up to episode 110, where we see Goku and Jiren fight. But I'm super excited to do my part 2 of this once the tournament's over. And if you guys like these top 10s, I'll have more top 10s later down the line if you guys enjoy them. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I want to go ahead and give you guys a big thanks for subscribing to my channel, for following my videos, for talking to me on the community tab. I really appreciate it. This channel is really growing extremely fast, and I'm hoping to get to 100,000. I know it's going to be a long road. I'm hoping at least in the next couple of years to get to 100,000, to get close, to taste it, because of you guys and your help and you guys supporting my videos. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys. You guys always know I comment back. I try to comment back to every single one of your comments. Talk to me whenever you guys want. I appreciate everything you guys have done. Thank you so much. This is going to be Dragon Ball Black signing off.